The power went out late last night, just after midnight. Alex was brushing his teeth when the bathroom lights flickered twice and died. The steady hum of the house, the refrigerator, the air conditioner, even the ticking clock, vanished, leaving only silence. He switched on his phone flashlight, the cold beam slicing through the darkness, and went downstairs to check the fuse box. Everything seemed fine. It must have been the storm, he thought, hearing thunder rumble outside as rain battered the windows. With a sigh, he returned to bed, pulling the blanket tight around himself as lightning flashed across the room. Then came the stillness of the blackout, heavy and absolute. When morning came, the world looked normal again. The digital clock beside his bed blinked 12 how, evidence that power had been restored sometime during the night. Sunlight slipped through the curtains. Alex went downstairs, still groggy, and made himself coffee. Steam rose from the mug as he walked toward the hallway. Then he stopped. Something was wrong with the photographs on the wall. At first, he couldn't pinpoint it. The frames were straight, the glass clean. But then he looked closer. Each picture, every family photo, every memory, had changed. The people were the same. His parents, his friends, even his sister at her graduation. But in each one, there was someone new standing behind him. A figure, tall, pale, blurred, like a smudge that the camera had caught halfway between worlds. In some, the figure lingered in the background. In others, it was right at his shoulder. His skin prickled. He took one photo off the wall and examined it under the light. The face of the figure was obscured by long strands of black hair, the skin so white it almost glowed. He told himself it had to be a mistake, maybe a reflection, maybe some sort of image corruption. His laugh was shaky, forced. "It's nothing," he whispered, "just a trick of the light." Still uneasy, he opened his phone to check the digital versions of the same photos. They had changed too. Every single one. The same ghostly presence hovered behind him in each image. Heart racing, Alex deleted them all. He tore the printed photos off the wall, tossed them into the kitchen sink, and lit a match. Flames consumed the paper, curling the edges, warping the smiling faces. The smell of melted plastic and smoke filled the air. When the last one turned to ash, he felt a wave of relief. To prove to himself that it was over, he raised his phone and took a new photo. He smiled weakly, pressed the shutter, and looked at the screen. The figure was there again, closer this time. Hair draped over its face, pale skin like candle wax. The phone slipped from his hand and clattered to the floor. He knelt, picked it up, and zoomed in on the image. The figure's details sharpened. The black hair hung wetly, the lips barely visible beneath, curled into something that might have been a smile, or a sneer. His breath caught. He turned around instinctively, scanning the kitchen. Nothing. The air was thick and still. He fled outside, barefoot, gasping for air. The rain had stopped, but the clouds hung low and heavy. From the street, he looked back at the house. The curtains in the living room window shifted slightly, as though someone had brushed past them. And then he saw it. A face, pale and hollow, staring out from behind the glass. His pulse roared in his ears. He stumbled backward, heart hammering, but when he blinked, the curtain had fallen still. The face was gone. He spent hours sitting in his car, watching the house. Nothing moved inside. No shadow, no flicker of light. As night fell, exhaustion pushed him back to the porch. The house greeted him with silence. He turned on every light. Each room looked exactly as he'd left it. Empty. No figure, no sign of anything wrong. The burned photos were gone, the walls bare. He tried to calm himself, convincing his mind that it had been stress, maybe fatigue. He sat on the couch trying to breathe normally. Then his phone buzzed. A notification appeared. New photo saved to gallery. His heart dropped. He hadn't taken any new pictures. His hands shook as he opened the gallery. The latest photo showed him, sleeping on the couch, and standing directly above him was the same pale figure, closer than ever. He dropped the phone and stumbled back. He didn't sleep that night. The hours dragged on, the house thick with silence. When dawn broke, the phone was gone. He searched every room, every corner, but it had vanished without a trace. He noticed the mirror next, a handprint smeared across the glass, high, too high for him to have made it. The outline was faint, but fresh. The center of the print was still fogged, as though pressed there moments before he entered the room. That night, he refused to sleep. Every light stayed on. The curtains were drawn tight. He sat upright on the couch, a kitchen knife clutched in his hand, eyes darting toward every corner of the room. The ticking clock seemed unnaturally loud. Then, from upstairs, came the sound of footsteps. Slow, heavy, deliberate. He froze, every muscle tensed, and then his phone began to ring. The sound came from upstairs, from his bedroom. It vibrated once, twice, then stopped. Then it started again. Each buzz felt like a heartbeat. Alex forced himself up, step by step, up the staircase. The house was silent except for the faint buzzing from his room. The door was slightly open, the gap pitch black. He pushed it slowly. The ringing stopped. The beam from his flashlight trembled as he swept it across the room. His phone sat neatly on the nightstand. The screen lit up on its own. A new message appeared. Smile. A whisper came next, soft, chilling, right behind his ear. Smile. He spun around. Nothing. The flashlight's beam darted wildly, catching only the walls and shadows. Then he saw it. In the reflection of the window behind him, a pale, smiling face. He dropped the flashlight. The phone's camera light turned on by itself. Click, a photo, then another. Click, click. Each flash illuminated the room for a fraction of a second. The pale figure appeared closer with every burst. One last click. And silence. Days later, the authorities found the house dark again, power out. They entered cautiously, flashlights cutting through the shadows. The walls were lined with family photos once more, perfectly arranged. In each one, Alex was smiling, and behind him, always the same figure. But in the final photo, they stood together, both smiling that same empty, unnatural smile.